That's how the track started. It Feels So Good, which is on my new album Mirage. I'll tell you a little bit about how the track was written and how it came to life. We were jamming away in the studio when I started to work on my album last year, and talking about, I think, March 2009. My brother was in the studio, Benno was in the studio. We were just jamming away. It was a beautiful day. I remember we were sitting here, the doors to the garden were open, and my brother brought his guitar, and we just had cups of tea, and we're having a great time. So I had a Wurlitzer sample, just because I like the sound of it, which is not really trancey or whatever, but I just really liked the sound of it. So I started just playing some chords, which I really liked. I thought, that would work. So recorded that into the computer, and I got a riff. So my brother was jamming away with me as well, and he came up with a sort of a bass line with his electric guitar that he was making at that time. So that was the first basis of the track that later on was going to be called It Feels So Good. So he added some more guitar elements like the guitar bass line. And the bass line actually was part of a jam session that he just did on top of the two lines that you just heard. So the original bass line sounds something like this. So you can actually hear him tweaking the guitar, and we were singing the melody line for him. Like it was the bass line that I was hearing with the rest of the parts. So I came up with some plugins, made it sound a little bit more groovy and make it sound like a real bass line. So I added a Ghost Notes, which is a great plugin called Subbass in Logic that helped me with that. Put an auto filter on top of it and made it sound really stereo with the sample delay. Put some compression on top of it to make it nice and sparkly. And then we just started jamming away with several other guitar lines, like a top line that was written on that day as well. And we put some very, very basic drum loops under there. I think we used the Guru plugin by F-Expansion. Really great plugin just for jamming away, just for putting loops. And at that point, it wasn't even a song. It didn't have a song structure. I think we put some other synths in there, like an Omnisphere kind of noise. That was just great. We just wanted to try something different for the album to see if we could inspire other songwriters to write a song for this, or maybe write a song for it ourselves. So that was, I think it was March or April last year. So we started sending this demo around, and this is how the demo sounded. So that was the original demo that we sent around to a few people. And in the summer, I met the Nervo Sisters, really talented female duo from Australia. You'll hear a lot more from them in the future, I'm sure, because these girls are just amazing. They're great singers, songwriters, and they have such a really, really positive energy. And they heard this melodic song and they were like, oh my God, this is so great. We want to write a track to it. So they happened to meet Nadia Ali. Michael was in New York. Michael's my manager, and he introduced Nadia Ali to the Nervo Sisters, and they played her this track as well. And the three of them got really into a really good mood and wrote the lyrics to It Feels So Good. So they sent us a part of the song, and we were immediately in love with it. It was such a great vibe to it, summery, but was very, very different. So what we tried with it it was actually kind of scary territory for me because it was so far remote from what I normally do, which is more euphoric and uplifting and that sort of thing. But in the past, I used to make a lot of house records, so I thought, it would be a challenge to make something different for the album, just a little bit, summery, vocally, less drums in there, less production, but more focused on a really, really good song. So they came up with the original vocals, the vocal takes, which are really, really great. We put the original demo vocals in there, and that's the version that is actually on the album.
Feels so good, it feels so good when I'm in your arms. Don't you know it feels so good
And then what was really the trick with this track is we put a lot of production into the sound of all the elements that we had. Actually, I can play you some of the other mixes that we'd done for It Feels So Good, because it took us really months to really find out that the first idea that we had for It Feels So Good was actually the best one. So after searching for several days, we came up with several different takes of the same vocal, because we thought, maybe it should be more tough, or maybe it should be more different. So we tried approaches like this. And approaches like this. We even went this far with the track, put it in a different key to make it more tough. So completely created a new instrumental underneath it, but it kind of took away the sexiness from the original demo. So the track has been on the shelf for I think about a good 8 months, and Michael, my manager, convinced me and Benno to go back to the original jam session, clean that up and make it sound really tough. So what I did, we spent a lot of time on making the elements that we had in the demo session sound really good, get the guitar sounding really bassy, putting a lot of plugins on there. There's a Pultec UAD on the master channel. Make it sound really warm and sexy, and bring out that sexiness of that the groove has of the original track. So the secret of It Feels So Good is not actually putting in a lot of elements, but actually leaving them out and focusing on the elements that were already good. Because sometimes the demo session is just the best session, The girls, Nervo Sisters and Nadia, were having a great day in New York, and they recorded the best take. And I can put money on it. If you go back into the studio again and try to recreate that vibe, it will never happen, because there's something magical about this song. So we pretty much leave the demo take untouched.
Feels so good, it feels so good when I'm in your arms. Don't you know it feels so good, it feels so good, it feels so good. You say it's dangerous, you don't wanna be exposed.
But if you can hear, we put a lot of really a lot of effort into making the stuff that is in there really good, with a lot of delays, really good bass line, and a lot of subtle processing on the master bus channel. So there you go. It feels so good.